I'm Michael Musser.
I am Tessa Esta.
My name is Noah Booley.
I play lacrosse at Illinois Wesleyan.
I was a member of the women's soccer team at Viterbo University.
I played baseball at Viterbo University.
And I was
overlooked.
What's up, guys and gals? It's your host, Hunter Ruediger, here again for another episode of Overlooked, the podcast where we dive into and take a look at what really goes on within the lower levels of collegiate sports. Let's go. All right, guys and gals, thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode of Overlooked. Today's episode is extra special because I got to interview one of my best friends, Tessa Estock. She played soccer for Viterbo University, which is located in La Crosse, Wisconsin. We talked about her experience at Viterbo and how she managed an athletic career and a nursing major's workload. Now, Tessa actually quit playing soccer after her sophomore year in order to focus on her nursing career, so she was able to give us insights to how much work it was to be an NAIA athlete. Trust me, guys and gals, you won't want to miss this. So without further ado, here's the interview. All right, and now I'd like to give a nice warm welcome to my best friend, Tessa Estock. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We're very excited to have you. So, my first question is, just give me the classic rundown of your schedule that you had while you were playing soccer and going to school.
We would have pretty much normal classes throughout the day, and then if it was just a practice day, we would get to the fields by 3:15, practice from 4 to 6, eat dinner, and then I would head to the library from like 7 to 10 at night. And if we were having a game that week, we would usually have a film session after our practice for like an hour or so. So we'd go from practice 4 to 6 and then film. And if we had a game, we usually played on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So Wednesdays would be like our travel day, so we'd get on a bus at whatever time we needed to, miss class, and drive to the games. And then we'd often go with the boys team. So we'd have to fit on a bus with them and then stay for their game and then drive back and get home around anywhere between like 10 at night to like 1 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, so, pretty busy.
Yeah.
So, like, if you had to, like, estimate, like, on, like, a normal, like, day, like, how much free time do you think you had?
Honestly, I'd have free time when I was getting food between classes, and then I guess after I'd be doing homework, so I don't really consider like homework free time, so like maybe an hour a day, hour to 2.
So it doesn't sound like you guys had a whole lot of time to do anything other than sports in school. Because you mentioned missing classes and stuff like that, did they offer any kind of tutors, resources to help you make up that stuff that you missed out on?
Yeah, I would say that we don't really have like any special tutors for athletes. If you needed help, you could like arrange that when necessary, or you could like get help from other people on the team who have had those classes before, and then they could help you, but there wasn't like much special treatment for athletes.
So it sounds to me like you guys were pretty much treated as students only, and you didn't have any little special help. The reason I ask is because I know a lot of Division I programs have special tutors and resources to help them out while they miss class for athletics. So for my next question, kind of leading into that, did you have any job while you were at Viterbo?
Yeah, my sophomore season in the spring, I tried to work, which got really hard because we'd have weights in the morning and then usually like agility or footwork in the afternoon, so I'd sometimes have to miss weights depending on the day and make them up at a different time.
Mhm.
But I would work like at a max during season, like 6 hours a week.
So then, once the season ended and you guys were in the off season, did you have a lot more time on your hands, or what was the case there?
Yeah, kind of. We would have weightlifting every other day, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, at either 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. Then we go to class, and sometimes we'd have like a session from like 3 to 4 or 3 to 5 on like Thursdays, Fridays, Sundays. So I would say there's more time for free time and like working in the off season, but not as much as you would think.
So since I know you, I know that you have since then quit soccer. So tell me a little bit about why you did that. Was it just schooling, or just too much time and stuff like that, or take me through that?
So after my sophomore season, I was pretty overwhelmed. It was like a big year for your nursing classes in the fall, and like I had a few times I was like overwhelmed with games, practices, exams, and stuff like that. So then in the spring, we were like getting really overloaded with like lifting, training like every day, and I was trying to work as a CNA, as you need hours and to get experience. And I was trying to plan my schedule, I guess, actually for my clinical dependent for the next fall. And the only available clinicals were either on Wednesday a.m., so 6 a.m. to like 3:30, or on Saturdays from the same time. And those were both days that we had games. So ultimately I could have missed games and been trying to like recover that time on the field, or be stressed like in the clinical knowing I could be somewhere else. And I really just thought to myself that I will not be a professional athlete for the rest of my life. I will be a nurse, so I kind of realized I had to quit.
So like after you quit, like how much extra free time did you have, and like how did you like other than like working, like how much extra free time did you find yourself having?
So much. I mean, it was really nice. I had more of my more lenient time. I could work out when I wanted to, eat really when I wanted to, hang out with my friends more, and just like chill when I wanted to. I had me time to just sit and relax. So I would say it was just a lot more. I had weekends free to not be traveling both days.
Are you glad you quit soccer?
Yeah and no. Like, it really made my junior year really easy, like, not easy with school, but more attainable, and I got the most out of my experience, and I was able to have an internship last summer where I wouldn't have necessarily been able to because of soccer and those camps, and coming back August 1st, so that allowed me to, like, grow as a nurse, and it just allowed me to, like, really enjoy my senior year, like, with all my friends, and having more time to do what I wanted on the weekends, and just making the most of it. But then again, like, I didn't get to play soccer, which I'd been playing since I was 4, so I would say, like, that was kind of hard seeing that, but it was good and bad. I think it was time.
Do you ultimately think it was, like, the right decision for you?
Yeah, I do. Especially with the major that I have and knowing what I want to do going forward, I think it alleviated a lot of stress that I would have had.
All right, so that's all I have for you. And I just want to emphasize again, thank you so much for coming onto the show and doing this interview. I know it was an amazing interview, and I'm really happy we were finally able to get this done and get it on the show.
Can we please give it up one more time for that just amazing interview that Tessa was able to give me? Now let's take a brief moment and hear a message from our sponsor. Just a reminder that Overlooked is proudly sponsored by our friends over at Gatorade. When you're working up a sweat, there is no better way to stay hydrated than drinking a cold, crisp, refreshing Gatorade. I know my favorite is the light blue Glacier Freeze Gatorade, and it always makes me feel fresh for the show. You can go to Gatorade.com and check out what they have to offer, as well as heading to your local store to pick up yours today. Gatorade, the sports fuel company. And just a reminder, nothing beats Gatorade. The next segment of the show is Drummo Please. Name that athlete! Okay, the clues are, he played basketball for the University of Central Arkansas. His parents had 12 children. He averaged 4.3 points per game in his first year of college. He averaged 16 plus points, 5 plus rebounds, and 5 plus assists in 9 different NBA seasons. He won 715 of his first 1,000 NBA games, which is the best mark of any player in league history. He made the playoffs in his first 16 seasons in the league. He was named to the All-Defensive First Team 8 times, which only 4 other players have more selections. And, finally, Michael Jordan never won a playoff series without him. Who is he? And the answer is Scottie Pippen. Now, some of you might be wondering why I chose Scottie Pippen for today. Well, other than the fact that he came from Central Arkansas University, which at the time was an NAIA school, it's because ESPN has been releasing parts of a documentary every Sunday called The Last Dance. It's about Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls during their championship runs. Now, I've seen all 4 episodes so far, and I've got to say that it has been fantastic. So if you've been missing sports like I've been missing sports, then tune into ESPN to check it out. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. And now, for everyone's favorite part of the show, we're going to look at the mascot of the day. Today's mascot comes from the Division III college Williams. Their mascot? The Purple Cow. And yes, you did hear me right. The name of the mascot is the Purple Cow. And it looks just about how you're imagining it right now. A big, purple-colored cow. It became famous when Lee Corso wore it at ESPN's College Game Day when it came for a football game there. It has even made an appearance on an ESPN commercial because of how beloved it was. So anyone out there that was looking to play for a Purple Cow mascot, well, you're in luck because Williams College has you covered. Well, guys and gals, I'm sorry to say this, but we have reached the end of today's show. But don't worry, because we'll be back tomorrow with another episode of Overlooked. And boy, do I have a banger of an episode for you. I talked to Tessa's boyfriend Noah, who also played for Turbo University. And let's just say, we dive deep into the kinds of facilities and funding that these lower level colleges provide for athletes. And I'll give you a little hint. It isn't a whole lot. I also discuss the impact of the new NCAA policy that will allow college athletes to receive paid endorsements and how that will affect Division II and Division III NCAA athletes. I'd also like to give just one more big thanks to Tessa for coming on the show, and of course to you guys, the listeners, for always tuning in and being totally rad. I'm Hunter Ruediger, and this is Overlooked. See you next time. Also, just a reminder, if you or someone you know has an awesome, interesting story that they want to share on Overlooked, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter. My handle is @1RUEDI. Hope to hear from you guys soon.